Hey, hope everybody's having a good start to the year. The direction of this channel, I think, is going to change. And that is because till now I've been really focused on habit hacks and increasing productivity and books to read. And I think that all of that stuff is really great. But as I've said before, that's like pressing the accelerator or the gas pedal if you're American, when in fact you may need to pull your focus into releasing your brakes. There is that great book by James Newman, Release Your Brakes. It's not necessarily directly related to what I'm going to talk about now, but somewhat. Release Your Brakes, both the book and what I've been talking about, is really focused on removing limiting beliefs, and that's all good and well, and I think that that is very powerful and necessary. How are you going to produce a great service or product and put it out there on the internet if you want to hide from the world because you don't believe in yourself, or because you don't believe you can do it, whatever? It's going to be very hard for you. You can do as much productivity hacking as you want. It's not going to happen for you. There is a more sinister type of limiting belief, and I'm going to talk about it now. I hesitate because okay, so I'm just going to go with this. Shame is a very, very powerful negative emotion, and shame can keep you absolutely locked in a box and potentially destroy your life because you are not comfortable with yourself and you're trying to hide in all scenarios, socially, in business. And so therefore, how are you going to put yourself out there, as I said, and make money if you're ashamed of yourself? Well, if you think you're struggling with that, I guess other words for it are low self-esteem, or that can be connected, and shame can be a cause of having low self-esteem. You're going to need to, if you want to flourish, find out where that's come from, address it, and resolve it. So if you've ever, and this is where the channel's going to change, I guess, maybe, because I think this could be helpful to people. That's why I'm sharing it. I don't know that I really want to share this. If you've ever dealt with a narcissist, and that's a word that gets thrown around a lot today, so it's kind of people are calling everybody narcissists, or, you know, somebody's got a bad attitude, they call them a narcissist. And I think it's true that we can all have narcissistic tendencies, or we can all be, you know, the shadow side of ourselves or the worst side of ourselves can be, let's say, off. But if you've dealt with a true narcissist, and there are different types of narcissists: covert narcissists, grandiose narcissists. There are people who they're not, I don't know how they're not categorized as narcissists, but they have narcissistic tendencies. I'm not necessarily sure what the difference is. You will know, if you've been in a relationship with this person, what that can do to your self-esteem. So if you've been in, say, 3-4 year relationship with a narcissist, you'll know that by the end of that time you can be absolutely eviscerated. The real problem comes, I think, when it's feasible that someone in your own family is a narcissist. And I don't want to admit this. This is definitely not a victim card. I don't even really want to talk about this. I just think it's something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's something that's affected me. And I just think I've got this. Maybe this is my calling. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'll delete this video. If you look at that plane, guys, there, I'll talk about the relevance of that. Can you see that? Always reminds me that one day, if you're earning good money and you have a business on a laptop, tomorrow or today even, I could go to Heathrow, jump on a plane and fly out to Mexico or somewhere in Central America I love, or South America, and go set up shop there for a month or 2 months and just work. Anyway, it's good to have a dream. So back to the topic. If you've had a narcissist in your family, then you'll know that, you know, let alone being in a relationship with someone for 3 years who's a narcissist, say do that now for 30 years, the effect can be devastating. And especially, and I don't want to get too much into family dynamics, it's something I've read about quite a bit. The whole family, the narcissist can, or someone with narcissistic tendencies can cause that family to become molded to conspire against, another term from the literature, what is called the scapegoat or the whipping horse. I think I'll leave it. I mean, say for example, you went a bit wayward in your life, you know, say you were turned 18 and you started smoking marijuana or something like that. And that kind of that sticks as like your label. Then they can use that to keep you. It's a beautiful dog, right? Saluki. They can use that to keep you under a shadow, let's say, and they will always go back to that. And anyway, so if you've had a narcissist in your family, it's devastating, guys. It is devastating, and it's very, very hard to just cut that person out of your life because they're in your family. And there is something called, I'll share these two bits, DARVO, D-A-R-V-O. Ask ChatGPT to teach you what DARVO is. If you have had a narcissist in your life, you will recognize it probably very quickly. Try not to get angry, because I think a load of memories are going to come up where you'll realize what's been being done to you. And Jade, is it Justify Something, Defend, Explain, where the narcissist keeps you in this loop where you're constantly trying to justify yourself. Just get a screenshot there. It's beautiful news for the thumbnail, where you're constantly trying to justify yourself, and it's savage. And they give you some hope. They sort of make out that they understand. And anyway, so I think that that's what this channel is going to be about, because you may have guessed it's something I've experienced. And one thing I want to promise you guys, well, I can't promise because it can happen to get the better of all of us at times, but I want to try and guard this channel against promoting in any form, is victimhood. Being a victim disempowers you totally. You've got to just understand that yes, it's hard and it's really unfair. Life is unfair at times. Sometimes for us and sometimes against us it's unfair. You know, sometimes we get favored that we don't deserve, and sometimes anyway. So I want to guard against any form of victimhood, but it is hard. You know, this kind of recovering from this. So to give you a word of hope, if you have experienced that and you're going into business to be an entrepreneur and you're wondering why it's so damn hard for you, it could well be that the brakes, because of this stuff that's happened to you, is the brakes are well and truly jammed on. And guys, if that is you, if you're watching this and thinking, this guy gets it, I want to say, first of all, you are stronger than being a victim. Do not be a victim. I want to say, secondly, that's why I said this first. Now, secondly, I'm sorry for you. But again, plead with you not to be a victim, okay? I know I'm labouring that point. It's for a reason. I've watched it destroy lives. People playing the victim, even when they had every right to. You're stronger. You can overcome this. It's going to take work, okay? Everything that I've learned till now, I'm going to try and share with you within reason. And my hope is, this is one of my favourite muses, guys, in London. I know this, my mind is scattered. Maybe another screenshot or thumbnail there. I'm going to share as much as I can to help you, and maybe ultimately it's you that's going to help yourself. You will free yourself from this. And if you want to build an online business, this is going to be the way you heal. It's going to be hard. All right, it's gonna be at first like trying to climb a mountain with a pair of flip-flops on. You haven't got the right equipment, but you're gonna learn fast. You know, you're gonna learn to stop off at a village on the way and say, hey, have you got some sheepskin or something I can wrap on my feet, make some moccasins? Then you'll get a bit higher up, you'll meet better people. But it's gonna require you to have full acceptance of yourself, probably if you've suffered in the way that I've described, say 20, 30 years of narcissistic abuse from a family member. Your self-esteem is going to be shot. Your self-loathing might be through the roof. There's stuff you can do to heal that. Again, please don't become a victim. It's hard. I know I've said that about 5 times. It's for a reason. Where would I suggest you start? There are 3 books that have helped me. One is Healing the Shame That Binds You by John Bradshaw. If that touches on family dynamics and how powerful shame is, essentially you've got to get to a place where you forgive yourself, forgive the other person, and begin to heal. And forgiving the other person might mean many years of every day. You might need to pray to God for strength. I recommend it, to help do that, because ultimately they are you and you are them. We've all got our stuff. So Healing the Shame That Binds You. He's got another book called Homecoming, which I've read, is not that easy to read. There's a woman called Lucia Capaccioni, Healing Your Inner Child. So if you go on Amazon and put Healing Your Inner Child, Lucia, you'll find it will auto-correct the rest, auto-fill the rest. And yeah, guys, I think that this might be where this channel goes. And so for any of you wondering, what is Shawshank to freedom? That is the Shawshank. Guys, that is the Shawshank, is living with this hangover from having a family member who's treated you this way. I've been through it all in terms of trying to deal with some stuff I experienced growing up. So I learned martial art for 15 years. I became obsessed with fighting to be able to protect myself physically. And I realized that doesn't make it all go away. So yeah, there's some books. And if you're really struggling with this is, I'm not a psychologist, okay? So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist. So treat everything you see on this channel as pure entertainment. Take it with a big pinch of salt. Make sure you get your own guidance. Speak to your doctor, I have to put that in there. Yeah, and if you're really struggling, I guess if you're in a really bad place, you could call the Samaritans. That sounds like a weird thing to say on this channel. Or get a counsellor. Get a good counsellor if you can afford one. I'm sure there are voluntary services out there. But speak to someone all the while, and even counsellors might encourage you to do it all the while. I'm going to say it for the 6th time or whatever. Whatever you do, don't take up the identity of a victim. What I mean by that is someone who's weak and disempowered. You will be amazed at how strong you are once you start to step into who you really are, who you're meant to be. Because there are multiple versions of you. Okay, this is getting a bit outside of this now, but if you were brought up in a family in, say, I don't know, the middle of Africa, you would be a different person. Same material, same you, but you would just be different by the culture and whatever. If you were brought up in Japan, if you were brought up in West London in a billionaire household, you would be a different, there are multiple different versions of you. And one of the biggest determinants of that is how you see yourself, your self-image, your identity. And so there the book is Psycho-Cybernetics. Psycho-Cybernetics is very important for that. And then to begin to change your actions, I recommend Tiny Habits or Atomic Habits. That's how you begin to change your identity. But you might need to heal this stuff, something called Inner Child Theory, which I said the book's for first. And that sounds really weird, I know. When I first heard about inner child, I thought, what the? Inner child? How pansy is that? But it is very powerful. Be careful with it. The exercises in those books, especially the Lucia Capaccioni one, Healing Your Inner Child, is like writing a letter to yourself from your younger self to you now. An inner child is just a part of your psyche. That's all it is. It's not, they don't believe there's literally another personality in you. It's just that our psyche is made up of many parts. I think, I'm sure a psychologist could correct me. And you need to be fully integrated as a person. If you keep rejecting yourself and you don't accept yourself, how can you expect other people to accept you? It's my most honest video, guys. Let's see where this goes. If this resonates with anybody, give me a thumbs up or a comment or something, so I know. And any question you want me to answer, please help me, guys, on this. Yeah, I'm asking for help. God bless you guys. I wish you well.